Yeah, man, got to switch the background around, guys. What's up? What's up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Sorry, been obviously doing plenty of NBA games, my guys, but man, y'all know what's up, man. It's time to talk some college football with the legend Dave Cokin here, man. If you guys didn't know, we kind of wear our glasses here on these because we're cool, man. We're trying to get some cash, man. I'm your host, Jake Money is Money. Love hosting shows, man. Love hosting shows. Love hosting my guy Dave as well. Make sure you guys go check him out at wagertalk.com. Follow him on Twitter as well at Dave Cokin. What's up with you, Smoking Cokin? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, 4 straight winning weeks in college football, so I'm happy with that. NHL's off to a very good start, and college hoops just around the corner.
College hoops, right? Man, I can't wait to get some cash with you at college basketball as well, man. Dave is he's the college guy, man. He has a good grip on these young guys. You see what I'm saying? College football, and he does NHL, baseball, college football, and college basketball, man. Some golf as well, but definitely college basketball, the college sports. I feel like Dave's top sports, but we're not here to waste your time, my guys. We're all here. We're gonna talk some college football games tonight, about 6-7 games here. We're gonna go through one of them tonight for a Friday night game here, Dave. We got Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers here, landing 1.5 point versus the UAB Blazers here. Big games, a big game in terms of who's going to win this conference, Dave. You like anything here?
No, I got my money out of UAB last week against Middle Tennessee. And it was a really good spot for them, and they came through. But I don't trust their offense. Um, they're a tough team to figure out. So is
Mm-hmm.
Western Kentucky. The thing about the Sun Belt this year is there's not a lot of. It's not that big a gap from the top to the very
To the bottom.
bottom of the league, and so I think you're going to pick your spots. And I'm happy with last week with UAB, and I'm just going to leave this game alone. I really don't have a good idea on what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. This line did open up at 3. It's down to 1.5. So some money coming in on UAB here. Obviously, Western Kentucky, they lost their quarterback. They lost the head coach
Yeah.
as well. Lost the quarterback and they lost the offensive coordinator. So they lost a ton. I was a bit surprised to see them coming back being a lot this good this year, but maybe they run into a little bit of buzzsaw here at UAB. It's a tough game. Maybe I'd agree with the money coming in here. Maybe it's where they missing the quarterback and the offensive coordinator could really come into play. UAB, obviously, a much better defensive team, not necessarily offensively there. So can understand why the money's coming down on them. Let's go over here to the streets of Baylor here, man. We're going to Waco, Texas here, Dave. We got the Baylor Bears. This line was at 9. It's up to 10 now. Kansas has started out red hot, covering a ton of spreads, right? Now somewhat kind of cooled off. They did lose their star quarterback for the year. Still have some offense, though, and can move the ball. How are you looking at this Big 12 matchup?
Well, the injuries are starting to pile up on Kansas, and Bean's been okay, but he's not as good as Daniels was, so they're down at quarterback now. I think maybe they're going to run out of gas, and they might be catching Baylor at the wrong time. So I would look at the favorite in this game. The line's getting kind of high now, so it's not going to make my card, but certainly would lean to Baylor.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Obviously, Kansas, they're starting to regress back to the mean, right? They're 6-0-1 against the spread. So they still haven't been beat on the spread yet. The TCU game, obviously they tied there, depending on what number you got in there with my guys. So be interested to see if Baylor, hey, they were top of the conference last year, a little bit. They're 3-3 sitting on the season. This could be a big game for them, big game for Kansas as well. I definitely could understand that. Man, let's go over here to the streets of Wisconsin here, guys. Man, the Wisconsin has beaten Purdue 15 straight times. They've been heavy favorites at them at the house as well. So this is the shortest number they've laid to this team in forever as well. So I feel like the line's all over Purdue. Maybe the bookmakers are telling us that this is one of Purdue's best chances to get a win over Wisconsin in recent years. How are you looking at this game?
Well, it's not the books telling you; it's Wisconsin telling you. This is not. It's just not the same program it's been. Purdue's still solid. Uh, it's a lot closer matchup than we've seen in most years.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing from a matchup standpoint, Purdue is pretty good stopping the run. And if Wisconsin can't run, they're in trouble because Mertz is just not a very. He's just a game manager, and that's it. So I think Purdue's got a good chance to break through and finally beat the Badgers this weekend.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. The last few times Wisconsin's been at home facing Purdue, they were laying 26 points,
Right.
laying 21 and a half points, 21 and a half, 17, 24 and a half, my guys. Now they come in here, and even last year they were laying 3.5 on the road. So the Lions have been shortening it up. They won 30-13 last year. Now it's coming at open up at 1.5 here at the house, 1.5, 2.5 here. So this line is super short here. I like Purdue here plus the 2.5. I'm not a college football expert. When we look at the line cratering down, we look at this team has lost 15 straight times versus Wisconsin. That opens my eyes up. Obviously, Wisconsin could just own them, but there could have been a lot on the head coach over there. He's gone, interim head coach now. The Purdue is primed to end that losing streak as well, my guys. So give me Purdue here plus the 2.5, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Baton Rouge here, Dave. We got the LSU Tigers laying 1.5 points versus the Ole Miss Rebels. Rebels are the ranked team here, but they are the underdog here on the road. Do you think that LSU can replicate what they did last week in Florida?
LSU is improving. They're getting better. Throughout the Tennessee game, which was a disaster for them, but they have been playing better football. I think Ole Miss is a little bit overrated. So the money's been coming in on LSU this week, and I don't disagree with it. I think the Tigers, this figures to be a close game, but I think LSU is showing enough improvement so that you can make a case that they'll win this game. Tough bet, not one I'm going to be on, but I agree with the money that's been bet so far, and I would shade LSU here.
Okay, appreciate that info there, man. Yeah, that's a good. And usually, just off the top of my head, usually when we see a ranked team going on the road versus an unranked team, and then they're the underdogs, it doesn't usually work out well for the public. Obviously, the public's going to hop all over that ranked team and that one. So Mississippi is sitting there with ranked number 7th in the nation, and sitting here underdogs here to LSU. They're not the 7th team. Yeah, it's simple. So I mean, maybe they've have really profited off of beating up on some bad teams. They're 7-0, 7-0 straight up, but only 3-4 against the spread. So the signs are there where Ole Miss is somewhere teetering along the loss here. Hey, the LSU might be the right side in this game at the house, and like Dave said, they're definitely improving from how they looked in that first game of the season, my guys. So that's like the looks there. Dave's guys are pro here, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Stanford here, my guys. We got the Cardinal laying 2.5 points versus Arizona State. Arizona State already fired their coach, have looked a little bit better the past couple of weeks, right, Dave? This line was at 3. A really key number in college football has come down to 2.5. Maybe some respectable money coming in on Arizona State here, Dave. What we looking?
I think it's money against Stanford. Nice win for them last week at Notre Dame, but if you broke down the game, they were fortunate to win the game. And Arizona State has played better since Edwards got fired. There was a lot of baggage there, and they've kind of put that behind them. Stanford has a lot of injury issues in the trenches. I think Arizona State's got a really good chance to go on the road and win this game. In fact, it is a game I didn't make it a big bet, but I did make a bet on Arizona State plus the points, and I think I got a good chance to cash that ticket.
I'm right there with you. I like Arizona State here plus the 2.5 as well. They, like you said, they come off a big win 16-14 versus Notre Dame. They're somewhat of a at 16.5 point underdogs, right? So this somewhat of a letdown spot as well. And like I say, Arizona State, we've seen improvement from them ever since Edwards got fired. Their first game after that was Utah, but can't really put too much in there. They're one of the best teams in the conference over there. Lost that one 34-13. But then you start to get some more representative efforts. Lost 25-42 versus USC. In USC as well, covered that spread 24.5. That was a good showing there.
Covered it easily.
Yeah, that was a good showing there.
They were in that game until the end.
That's facts right there. They were definitely down 7 points. It was a 1-score game for majority of the game there, Dave. That's a good call there. So the final score is not indicative of how that game went. They hung in there and they parlayed their momentum going into with next game versus Washington at the house, right? And end up winning that game as 13.5 point underdogs. So we're seeing steadily improvement. I think they win this game as well, Dave. You had something else?
Yeah, I think the David Shaw era at Stanford is coming to an end. Look, obviously the program's done a lot of good things while he's been there, but it's stagnated the last few years, and I think it might be time for a change on the sidelines. Shaw is just ultra conservative, and in this era of college football, ultra conservative just doesn't cut it anymore. He's playing 20th century football well into the 21st century.
Yeah, that's a good point right there, man. Just running the ball. You see what I'm saying? Run, play good defense. Oh, we kick some field goals up. 4th and 1, 4th inches. Oh, let's just go ahead and punt the ball. So
Yep.
I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm with you. It's a whole new day and time. It's about exciting football, right? That coach for Iowa, even though he's been there forever and he's done well, maybe it might be time for him to go as well, man. It's
Well,
time to get
yeah,
it's offense now. It's all about offense.
and particularly in Iowa, if you're a high-level recruit coming out of high school and you play offense,
Right.
why would you possibly go to Iowa? You're not going to get, unless you're a tight end. They produce a lot of good tight ends. But
And
if
linemen,
you're a
offensive
high-level
linemen.
quarterback, you don't want to play in that offense.
That's
So,
facts.
yeah, I think the Ferentz era at Iowa needs to come to a close. And his son's the offensive coordinator, and he's not very good.
Yeah, hey, there could be some home cooking there, man. I'm gonna hire my son. If I had a team, I'd find some type of way to get my son on the squad as well, whether he's good, whether he was good or not, man. But Iowa can produce some good offensive linemen, some good defensive backs as well, man. Linebackers, but yeah, Arizona State for me plus the 2.5 in there with my guys. Let down spot for Stanford. Hey, might see Shaw get fired at the end of this game, man. You
I
never
don't think
know.
I don't think he'll get fired.
Okay.
I don't think he'll get fired at any point.
Oh, okay.
I think that he will
Step in.
choose to leave at some point.
That makes
And
sense.
it might be he's been there for a long time, but he's got a legacy, and he's respected enough so that I don't think that he'd be forced out. But I think that he could leave of his own accord sooner than later.
I like it. And we think that he takes an L this week as well, my guys. Obviously, if we're taking Arizona State plus the 2.5, we expect them to win the game, but taking the points anyways. The Sun Devils plus the 2.5. Couple more games here, Dave. Let's talk about Alabama here. Number 1 team going down. I mean, I know I kind of said that they could possibly lose their game last week, and they lose it, man. Alabama's secondary has some problems, Dave. That's all I was saying last week when we were talking, that I was saying that Alabama was a little down this year. Obviously, the offense will be there, but this is not that same stingy defense of Alabama that we know, right? Tennessee's there are no pushovers, but I just feel like Alabama is not necessarily the same as years past. Obviously, they're losing a lot more of their recruits to these schools with the NIL deals as well. So it's a lot more spread out. Now they're laying 21 here, Dave, in the bounce back game. Mississippi State is no pushover. Do you think they can keep it within the number here?
I have a feeling Alabama is going to crush them. Look, I was on Tennessee last week, was thrilled with that result. But Tennessee is really good. Okay, they are an absolute playoff contender. Mississippi State isn't. They got a good quarterback, and Leach runs a good system. And I know Leach has been live as a dog over the years, but I really think this is the wrong spot at the wrong time. Alabama now needs to not only win games, now they need to make statements.
That's a good point.
And I think this is a matchup that's favorable for them. Mississippi State can get one-dimensional. Tennessee was not one-dimensional. Hooker can run. Hooker can pass. It's a multi-dimensional offense. Mississippi State isn't. If you stop their passing game or contain it, they're not going to be able to do much. They're not a balanced offense. And I think, look, Saban's not going to have any problem getting his team's attention this week. So I'm not laying 3 touchdowns. That's too much. But I don't want Mississippi State here. And they're a very popular dog this week.
Oh, that's not
good. A lot
good.
of people backing the Bulldogs. I'm not going to be one of them. I think Alabama might kill them.
One thing I could tell you is when everybody's on an underdog, that doesn't usually work out well. It's a public underdog, especially in this point spread range. You make some good points as well with Alabama needing to win by basically 50 every game now to try to win back over the voters, right? Which we know Alabama somehow, some way, they're always going to find their way up there. You see what I'm saying? I don't necessarily.
They're not taking 3 teams out of the SEC.
Right.
Tennessee right now is positioned ahead of Alabama, and Georgia is Georgia. So Alabama's going to have to make some noise down the stretch, and they might need some help.
I'm not a big fan of them making it every season. I understand they're one of the best teams, but I like seeing where let some new teams get in there, man, and try to win this championship, my guys. If Alabama lost a game and there's other teams that hadn't lost, put them. They got to stop getting in there just over their name or Nick Saban paying off wherever he can, man. I'm sick of. I don't like certain teams like literally dominating the whole time. It's just something I like. But Bama has destroyed the Bulldogs here. They've won 10 straight games. The last few matchups have been 49-9, 41-0, 38-7, 28-0. Back in 2017, they beat them 31-24. Other than that, it's been all Smack City spots, man. 51-3, 31-6. So they have a history of owning Mississippi State. Personally, I'm not laying the 21 with Alabama, though, in my opinion. I feel like if they had the defense of years past, maybe they can really shut down Mississippi State. I worry about the secondary. And like you said, Dave, the Mississippi State likes to pass the ball. Maybe the run game isn't there. So maybe I guess what you're saying is Alabama can like just sail to the pass and try to stop the pass.
I think
21 is a bunch.
I think you'll see some defensive game plan changes for Alabama this week.
I can dig it. Yeah, I'm not taking Mississippi State, but it's an interesting game for me. That's why I'll watch that one to see if Alabama has what it takes to smack a team up, because Mississippi State's not terrible. I don't even think they're average. I think they're a little bit above average. So let's see if they can. Let's see if they can hang in the 21 there. Last game up, Dave, here. We got TCU, the Horned Frogs, my guys. They just keep winning, Dave, right? I mean, can this team even lose? They're laying 3.5 points versus Kansas State, the Wildcats. Wildcats coming in here off of bye as well. So they have some extra time to prepare. They have a really good defense, maybe one of the best defenses that TCU is going up against here. They're in a letdown spot, guys. This team came back. They were down, 30-14 to Oklahoma State, scored both touchdowns, got the 2-point conversions, won in overtime, and then they go huge win, stormed the field. You guys know how I feel about that. I could see a huge letdown here, Dave. What are you thinking?
I don't know about a huge letdown, but we're on the same side. The scheduling dynamics clearly favor Kansas State. Bye week, off a win. TCU has been in one grinder after another. Kansas State figures to be the fresher team. And what's interesting is when I did the stat breakdown, actually I have Kansas State as the better team on the numbers. So this was an easy decision for me. Doesn't mean it's going to be an easy game, but getting a field goal or better with Kansas State was a take for me. I'm happy with the 3.5, and I expect the Wildcats to win this game.
No, that's facts right there. Only reason why I mentioned letdown, Davis, because obviously they beat Kansas, right? It was a big win. It wasn't easy, so they pushed that one. Then you come home. They're teetering on a loss here. That's all I'm saying. Versus Oklahoma State, they could have got smacked in that one. It seems like, okay, I mean, they're the type of team, Oklahoma State, they get a lead, they kind of take their foot off the gas, and I bet you they wish they hadn't, but TCU comes storming back, and they were at the house as well. But when you storm the field, I always say these are young guys, these are young kids. They like to party as well. I mean, this is college we're talking about here. Anybody's ever been to college, you know, there's big parties off a big win like that. They're going to be patting you on the back, and I just feel like teams are really prone to letdowns in college basketball and college football after they storm the court. I just really something that I realized and noticed over the past 3 years. It really cashes at a high rate. I don't know if the team still is coming in drunk. I don't know what it is, my guys. Tennessee and TCU are two teams are coming off huge wins, like some huge wins, guys. And they stormed the field. So I'm looking to fade TCU this week, and Tennessee. Tennessee is one of the best teams in college football. They're playing lowly Tennessee Martin. They're probably going to be laying somewhere around 50 points. I see them totally coming in, run the ball, get out of there without any injuries as well. So Tennessee Martin and Kansas State are two of my top looks on the college football card this week. Let's get to some free picks, my guys. I'll get my guy Dave up out of here, man. Dave, what you like? And first, let the people know what you have going over there. Wage Talk, top college football handicapper over there, and doing well in baseball as well. Dave, let them know what you got going there. Wage Talk.
Lost the game last night. First baseball loser in the postseason. I had the Yankees first 5, and it was the wrong side. But it's been good. NHL's off to a real good start, and I'm happy with the football. So, get a package at wagertalk.com. Let me give you a game that's on my card this week. It's my free play this week, and it's the matchup between Boise State and Air Force. And here we get the scheduling again.
All right.
Boise had last week off. They're off a win. They got revenge. Air Force has Army up next week, which is a bigger game for them. And Boise State the first 4 games, they were a bad-looking football team.
Mm-hmm.
Fired the offensive coordinator. The quarterback left school, and he's going to play someplace else. They went to the freshman Green, who's not the most accurate passer in the world, but he's a dual threat. He can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a new Boise team. Better attitude. I think this is a good spot. Air Force last week killed UNLV, but that was as much UNLV just giving them the football away every possession. I think Boise goes into Air Force and gets the win here. The line's come down. I took 3.5. It's now 2.5. But I would still go with the Broncos plus the points.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one as well, Dave. I like Boise in that one as well. Yeah, I had a couple of stars next to that one. I watched that game with the new quarterback. That team was hyped up. Oh my guys! Whenever he was in there, the team was hyped up. He was running for touchdowns, long runs. So if he can get that passing down, but when you're a dual threat quarterback, they kind of have to lay off the receiver, so they can open up the passing game as well with some play action face, maybe a little run option there. I like the quarterback. I like where the team is moving. It was definitely addition by subtraction, Dave. I think that's something that we've been preaching, right? Some players leaving to the transfer portal, that was probably because they were unhappy with the system. They're probably not getting usage. So them leaving to another team is actually going to be addition by subtraction, because now everybody has the same motivation in the locker room, and you don't really have any little sour apples in there, Dave. So I like the looks there.
Completely agree with that. I think it was time for Backlayer to find another school, and Dirk Cutter has been around the game forever, and he's a good offensive coordinator. And it's only 2 games, but there's no question that this team has played its best football in the last 2 games, and they've got extra rest coming into this game, which I think is a plus.
Yeah, I like it, man. We're fans of extra rest, man. I know there's a spot in the NFL that I don't like the team coming off the bye, but for this, I like Kansas State. My top plays, man, Kansas State, Arizona State, and I'm going with Purdue. And also the line isn't out for Tennessee Martin yet, but I am personally fading Tennessee. It's going to be a huge number. It's probably going to be north of 50. I see Tennessee really coming in this game, probably still drunk from the Alabama win. They got a new goalpost over there, but I think Tennessee wins this game by 21, 28 points. Like I said, we don't have a line yet, but I definitely see it being over 50. They're facing lowly Tennessee Martin. See Tennessee Martin being up for that game, and I see Tennessee looking right past them.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee Martin's got any chance in the game, but second half, with some big games coming up, and with Alabama in the rearview mirror, I think if Tennessee gets a chance to rest some of the starters after halftime, I think you'll see them do that.
They are. That's for sure. Like I can't say the main time when I'm taking a game like that is mainly based on the bigger, badder team taking their foot off the gas. And there's no risk in going balls to the wall or getting any injuries against Tennessee Martin when you're trying to go to the playoff.
It's impossible for Tennessee to be motivated for this game.
Facts. They're still drunk, Dave. I'm telling you, they're still drunk, man. They've been partying all week.
Well, they can afford to be drunk here.
Facts.
Because they can win the game by 40.
Yeah,
that's fine. You'll cash your ticket, and Tennessee will still be happy. It's not like they've got anything to worry about here with UT.
Exactly. Martin. Yeah, I just don't see it. This is a motivation play where they lack the motivation to really blow a team out, right? Obviously, it was Bama. They smack them up 70 or 80-0. But when you're Tennessee, you just need to get in and get the win without any major injuries. So that's what the game is based on, guys. Obviously, Tennessee could smoke them 60-0, but it's basically back a bet on lack of motivation and a bet on the somewhat of a letdown spot and a look ahead spot in the middle of the SEC conference, right? It's a terrible spot, if you ask me, coming off one of their biggest wins ever, if you ask me, my guys. So it would be a strict fade of Tennessee, but love doing this show with Dave, man. Dave Cokin is the guy, man. Make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter at Dave Cokin. You can check him out, get his plays over there at Wager Talk, baseball, college football, college basketball, hockey, all that stuff, man. Check out Dave. This is my guy right here. I call him Smoking Cokin because when he comes on the show, he gives out some smoking plays, my guys. Let's get some cash. I appreciate Dave for doing the show with me. I'm your host, J Money is Money. You can follow me on Twitter as well. Let's get this cash, my guys. We're out. Until next time. It's us again.